You're an idiot, Chris. Wonderful to be with you on GameFace's MPNFL First Division show. You are a lunatic. Thanks to O'Brien Real Estate. And they have over 9 locations across the Mornington Peninsula. O'Brien Real Estate will be able to achieve the best price for your sale or rental, backed by a myriad of experience. On the show tonight, some big wins last weekend and a game that may be the best so far this year and could be the best for the whole season, no matter what happens in the rest of 2021. Corey Buchan from the Bombers joins us after his side's victory over Red Hill. It should have been more. The margin, that is. Rosebud suffered their first loss with Bomb Beach, giving them a massive touch-up. And as we mentioned, Mount Eliza winning a tight battle against Sorrento. We go round the grounds. We have our injury report, thanks to Anytime Fitness, our most valuable team, and also the tips. So a massive show. We welcome Wayne Cap. G'day, Cappy. Good to have you with us.
How are you?
I'm well. G'day, Hawks.
I'm surprised Cappy rocked up this week.
Why?
Oh, aren't Rosebud flag favourites?
Yeah, 2 out of 5. He had a shocker.
Yeah.
Couldn't tip his hat last week, could you, Cappy?
He's meant to be the Div 1 expert, and he just dished us that rubbish. Could not pick his nose.
What I'm hanging my hat on this week is, right, at the start of the year, I tipped YC to be on top of the ladder at the end, didn't I?
Go.
So I look at the ladder and way up on top there,
Here we go.
the Stone Cats.
So not for long.
I'm looking at a new flag favourite.
Not for long.
Are you? Well, you might look at a new flag favourite every week.
week.
But they
We
did
said
that in the
that
AFL. I mean, everyone wrote off Richmond before they took on the Bulldogs.
We said that.
And they easily accounted for a disappointing Bulldogs.
We said that last week.
And now they're saying Richmond's the team to beat again.
We said, you say Rosebud's a flag favourite this week, then you'll say Bomb Beach, and then Bombers will pick up and they'll be the flag favourite. Then we'll have a Sereno guest in and go, Sereno the flag favourite. Oh, fantastic.
And our guest from the Bombers, one of their stars, Corey Buchan. Welcome, Corey. Good to have you with us.
Yeah, good. Thanks for having me, boys.
Now, we're all wearing the Game Changer beanies because May 15, 16, not this weekend, the following weekend is Game Changer round in AFL Southeast, and Kringle versus Devon Meadows will be the showcase Game Changer match. Now, beanies are brought down to $15 thanks to O'Brien Real Estate and another one of our major sponsors, Franks and RSL, donating $5 each for every beanie sold. So aim to get as many players to wear them in the warm-ups as possible. Proceeds distributed evenly for those looking for mental health services in their club through Game Changer. And as we know, Corey, it's a very important service, and we know that a lot of players, and they're better than they were, but mental health is a big issue amongst football clubs. You just got to be talking the entire time, and up to players who are in a better frame of mind to obviously help those who are struggling.
Yeah, definitely. And I think a lot of clubs are a lot better now, and a lot of the boys know they can go to each other to have a chat, so it's pretty good. Now,
GSA, which is Growth Syndicates Australia, who have Corey as their major sponsor tonight, helping you create wealth by leveraging existing available funds to build a substantial financial future.
You'd have lots of funds to distribute, wouldn't you, Dan?
None of your business.
Really?
None of your business.
You'd be with Growth Syndicates, wouldn't you?
Mate, I've got a patch in my tie when it comes to finances. The great Bert Bryant used to say he'd leave home with a lot of money, one of the great race callers in the 60s and 70s, and he'd come home with a patch in his tie, which meant he'd have nothing left.
Oh, fair
His other great line was, he said, the rest are coming in like Brown's cows when they were a long way off the pace. In fact, Brown wouldn't want to own any of these. It was one of the great lines.
Your story's awesome, Dan.
I know you like my story. Corey, it's been a tough old year for you. Going to just say on behalf of everyone at GameFace, sorry to hear about the death of your father. But 6 days later, you've come out and you've kicked 7 goals. How are you able to compartmentalise the fact that your father had died and concentrate on playing footy and playing like that?
Yeah, obviously very tough period. Still a bit of up and down since then, but that was probably the first game Dad's ever missed me play. So tough day, but got a really strong family around me, and a lot of my teammates got around me. Musto, the coach, and got a few real good friends, Foxy and Suts, Greels down there that helped me out and sort of helped me take my mind off it. And they looked after me on the day.
So you're in the zone more differently than you would be for a game of footy, or you treated it like any other game of footy?
It was a bit different. Obviously, my extended family come down to watch. I was pretty emotional before the game. I actually wore the tie-up shorts out there for Dad. And, then I was just sort of in the zone, and the boys were just sticking it down my throat, which helped out a bit.
Yeah, mate. Your old man would have been looking down on you, extremely proud, and I'm sure it was a great thing to have your family there. And hat off to you for the way you performed, and you had the admiration of the entire MPNFL community with the way you've handled yourself, and then to come out and perform like that was great. So congratulations to you. Commiserations, obviously, all the best. But you've held yourself high, and you should be proud.
I appreciate that. And yeah, the league's been awesome, like the amount of people that have reached out, because obviously Dad's a life member of the Junior Footy League and Tyre Junior Footy Club, so he had a big part in it. So it's been good, the amount of support that's been come our way.
It's a whole family, the MPNFL, and, we all hang a bit onto each other, but when something tough happens to one of our own, we're happy to embrace it, and, we're all really, disappointed what happened, but great that you responded so well. So all the best, mate.
Thank you.
You've had a great junior career, leading goal kicker as bottom major in the TAC Cup. No regrets that you didn't go a bit higher? I know you played with Frankston for a while, and there was an opportunity when they went out of business for you to go back, and you didn't go back. Do you regret not doing that?
Well, not really. Like I gave it a fair crack at the time. I've been living off that goal kicker for a while. I need to do
Still
something
a pretty
else.
good effort.
Yeah,
if you know what a good competition the TAC Cup is.
That's right.
As a bottom major, Corey.
I know it was probably 10 or 11 years ago, but I'll still put it on the resume. But yeah, after that year, I did train at Melbourne for a couple of weeks to try and get on a rookie list there, but no
What
good.
was that like?
Yeah, it was good. Got paid for it, so it was handy. But so yes, 18-year-old.
Did you expect to get paid for it?
No, just rocked up in the bank account.
Hey.
Yeah, so 18-year-old was pretty happy.
Wow.
But then back to Target after that, so no good.
He's a better defender.
Yeah.
You tore up Tommy Boyd on Frankston deck one day, didn't you?
Yeah, I played on Tommy Boyd, played on Darcy Moore, and went all right. But Darcy's gone down back again now.
What was it like playing against those guys? How much did it help your footy?
Yeah, it was good. I think the player that it's a bit weird, but showed me the most was Daniel Menzel when I played on him. His running patterns were unbelievable. So that playing on guys of that quality, obviously you take a bit away from sort of guys like that.
With all those knee injuries. I mean, he was a special talent. How good he could have been if he didn't have 4 knee injuries, which slowed him down a bit. Who knows now?
But I bet you anyone you'll answer this question the way I think you will. But do you reckon you're a better forward or a back? Because obviously you're at the highest level, and you play the VFL, and you playing against some top quality players, but now you drifted in just kicking some snags and want the glory.
Yeah.
Where do you reckon you're better up the back end or the forward?
Well, I like the me time up forward.
I knew that was coming.
The beauty of playing down forward is you've got Hatuku down there.
Don't have to chase.
So but it's the opposition now. I've got a couple to worry about. So you mightn't get the best defender, and that gives you the opportunity to kick some goals, which you're doing. You might get the best defender next week.
No, hopefully not. No, usually 3 go to Khan, and that's why I can find a bit of space down there. So
he's a handy inclusion.
Yeah, very handy. Yeah.
You're renowned too down at Frankston Park as having the worst training kit available. What's the worst training kit you've rocked up on, or what's your favourite? Because you come out in a real bad one day and you go, the boys will talk me up.
Yeah, I used to have these red basketball shorts that got a run with some long socks. That was my usual get up, and the boys weren't happy. But I think the missus must have thrown those shorts out. I can't find them anywhere.
Was it true? Because you're a really quiet spoken bloke off the field. Was it true that you went up to one of the boys at Frankston Bombers when you first met him and you said, g'day, my name's Corey Buck, and you must have heard about me? That's
that
true.
Must have been bloody Rico. Yeah, I reckon I had a few under my belt at that time. I think it was at out late at Mornington. Shook his hand and let him know.
How far away from your best footy is the team, do you think?
I reckon on the weekend, that was the best we've played. Like, we could have won by a lot more, I reckon. Kicked a lot of points. But I think we're starting to click now. The game plan's coming together. Like, we're getting used to it. Like, we've got Big Khan, obviously, he's starting to fire. He kicked 2 goals, 5 or something. So if he gets his kicking boots on, we're laughing. But the midfield's rolling now, and got a lot of young, exciting kids down there, which is, like, I know when I was coming through as a youngster at Tyre, old blokes would come up to me and say they get an extra lift out of it, and I never understood that. But having these young kids that come over from Devon, I love playing with them. Like, you got the Harris brothers. Spencer played on the weekend, Fridge. He kicked a couple of goals, really exciting. Josiah.
Dipper?
Dipper did.
He's a cracker.
God, he was so
a
good
gun,
in the first game that we saw him play, which was against YCW. Well, I thought you were pretty good that day, but you just couldn't quite get the connection right inside 50.
Yeah, it was probably the wet favoured YC a bit more, but looking at the stats, we won most of them. It was just the scoreboard, which probably is the most important in the end.
And that unbelievable defence that they have.
Yeah, like they're just real good team defence. Like, you can beat your bloke, but you know another bloke's going to come back and get in the way. So they're just, and having Barry down there, he's like an extra coach out there. So
They're a pain in the ass, basically, aren't they?
Absolutely, yeah.
They are. Well, we know they
not
put up with
saying
Cappy
anything.
every week. It's
Yeah, you
the
stood
same
on-
thing.
Let's not talk about YC.
You know what, you will. It's got a whole book.
Sorry.
Kicked 12 goals in 4 games, boys, thanks to Premier Data. 2 in round 1, 6 in round 2, 1 and 3. So it's a good start to the year for him.
Yeah, he's playing great footy and doing well. Alex Harnett had a good game on the weekend, which is great. He's, that big-bodied mid that is really hard to match up on, and 29 disposals. I think it was at 70% efficiency. Is a fantastic output. And
He's not at full whack yet either.
No.
His knee looks like Dan's head after a game on a Saturday.
Really?
Oh, it blows up like...
How does my head look after a game?
Like-
It blows
like
up
Harnett's
and
knee.
it goes red and it blows up. That's what Alex's knee's looking like at the
Do you
moment.
think
But
I've
he's
do you think I've got a good head for radio, Corey? This is what this bloke keeps saying.
Yeah, no, don't listen to him, mate. I reckon you're right.
Thanks, Corey. Appreciate that. Oh, God, I've got Corey on my side. Well, it's one. I've got to get the rest of the Mornington Peninsula on the side now. So the Bombers were inaccurate, but as mentioned, they were too good for Red Hill. Didn't have Jonas Siverson and a number of other defenders, and lost their other key defensive player in Daniel Frampton. What a good player he is. As we look at some of the highlights, thanks to HP and CP Electrical. And it was a good performance by the Bombers, but a good fight back by Red Hill in the second half. But Daniel Frampton, a big loss before quarter time, as well as a nice shot at goal here by the Bombers. And Corey Buchan, one of his 3 goals on the day at Greg Beck Oval. It was warm conditions too. The previous 2 weeks you played in almost wintry, wet conditions, and then on the weekend it was 24, 25. How'd you cope with that?
Yeah, I reckon I blew up about half time. I don't reckon I got a kick after half time, but no, it was good to be out there, especially as a forward, being able to mark it in the dry weather. Yeah, that's a big can.
It's great to see the Bombers hitting their straps. We all had these high expectations at the start of the year. I did.
Oh, yeah, sure, you can.
I love the Bombers, mate.
I did.
And like, to be honest, it hasn't come to fruition in the last few weeks, but it really seems like they're starting to gel now and things are going well. The Red Hill side, they copped a whacking with injuries after the last week. Siverson's got a crack and a bone in his back.
It's a long...
so he's going to be out for a considerable amount of time.
Crow was also out.
5 to 6
Morris
weeks.
Didn't play. Frampton we mentioned. Mathers didn't play.
Yeah.
Windpope.
Yeah, they'll get a couple back. The Morris will be back next week, so that'll be a help from. But this has created opportunity for them. Red Hill, they brought in a kid called Aidan Phillips from the under-19s.
I'm very happy with him.
He only played. It's only his second game. I looked up 20 disposals at 90% efficiency. He was showing class and a lot of character under fire in that first half. Like, he was, still weaving his way through traffic, trying to bring other blokes into his game. So things like that, bringing these young guys in, gives them opportunity, increases their depth and the faith in their depth to be, when the injuries come again, that, guys like this can come and do the job. And it's going to be hard to knock a guy like Aidan Phillips out of the team now.
It is.
Because he's had such a good performance.
Well, Kane Hawkins was impressive as well with 43 touches and 17 rebound 50s. Now, the injury update on Red Hill, thanks to a new sponsor, Anytime Fitness. Now, the Bombers, unlike the last couple of years, Corey, that you played, 2018, 2019, touch wood, your injury list is not too bad. Normally it's longer than my arm or 2 people's arms.
Yeah, I don't know. So we're pretty lucky at the moment, which is good.
Big thing with them, obviously, their midfield, they weren't early on in the first round or so, they just weren't quite clicking. But once you get... Hiratuku and Pryor are the best 2 ruckmen in the comp with 1-2 combination. They are by a mile.
78 hit-outs between them.
Once you get Suts underneath, who's starting to play some good footy now. Foxy, Harnett, and like I said, but he's only just warming up. He's 80% at the moment. And even Kinger on the weekend was really good. He had a really good game. Their midfield's the best. And if you've got Khan and...
You nearly said it.
If you've got Khan and the big fella up forward, you've got a lot of options. I reckon once they hit their straps and they play their best footy, they're the best ones to combat Bonnie.
And, I mean, good players, too, that can use the footy off halfback. Chapman's one, Ryan Marks Logan's another. We've
he had a
spoken
good game
about
on the
young
weekend
kids.
too, didn't he?
He's a very good player. And Chapman, I thought, was pretty good against YCW as sort of the user off halfback and tends to use it well. Now, Danny Allsop's having a very good year. The 2019 BNF winner for Red Hill when they won the second division flag. 37 touches and 5 clearances. And Chris Irving, the old fella, kicked a couple of goals. But their second half better. They would want to come back this week and try and be 3-2. They've got an easier game, although they're not that easy in First Division. But their form was better in the second half, but their first half was disappointing.
Look what happened with Dramana. Dramana was 0-2 and staring down the barrel, and it's almost flipped now. Red Hill have now got injury. It's only a couple of weeks later. Now Red Hill have got injuries. Dramana had two good wins on the try. Poor Dramana up and about.
Well,
Red Hill are in trouble.
It's going to happen every week to sides. You have injuries.
So no big statements from you.
Oh, right. No.
Big statements.
But Irving apparently was great in leadership with the side that was depleted. He led them well in the middle, and he's
been a terrific player.
Oh yeah, great player for him, and he was be able to. They fought back well in that second half. They would have been disappointed with how they were enabled the Bombers to run all over them, and I think they got in the rooms at half time, got back to looking at what their game plan is, and said, right, we've gone away from that in their first half. And they, made a bit of better contest of it in the second half.
Well, the reserves had a good win with a very young side as well. So the future's looking pretty good for Red Hill. I mean, it mightn't be their time this year. We'll see what happens.
Don't count them out.
I'm not counting them out, but there might be better sides at the moment. We'll wait and see.
I think he is. He's put the dagger in.
Bond Beach bounced back. I have not. Developed the Buds out of top spot.
Well, you said last week Buds were the flag favourite, didn't you?
Yeah, well, they did.
No, but you were jumping on the bandwagon
I thought they were, but Bond Beach were able to... just get right on top. Look at the conditions. Look at the good crowd at Bond Beach. The ground certainly suits them, thanks to Frankston Jeep. Looking at the highlights here, and they were just far too good for a pretty disappointing opposition in Rosebud, who just couldn't get going. They kicked the first 4 goals of the match and got right on top. Their defensive pressure kept the Buds forwards at bay, and that's normally been Rosebud's strength. And the Buds were sorely missing captain Greg Bentley, who was injured early in the match. And they should have won by more. They kicked inaccurately. Yeah, great crowd. Trent Dennis-Lane kicked 4. Sam Gilbert had his best game for the club, the former Saint. 43 disposals and 8 clearances for 182 ranking points, while Jackson McRae battled manfully in defence. But the injury toll is growing at Rosebud thanks to Anytime Fitness. Jari Kennedy, their reliable defender who's been in the rolling team of the week all year, is out with a hamstring. We mentioned Greg Bentley out with a hamstring. And Jai Hardwick, his brother Blake, plays at Hawthorn. He has also got an abductor injury. So there's some good players starting to go. And Sean Downey's at least 3 weeks away.
Yeah, they lost Bentley early. That was a loss. Like he went down early in the first quarter. Bond Beach were unbelievable. They took them to task right from the first bounce. I watched the first half of that game, and it was a very high standard match, mainly from Bond Beach, to be honest. But I looked at the stats, and we had uncontested possessions plus 93. That is an incredible
That's
statistic.
all about work rate, isn't it?
50 uncontested. Yeah, it's all about work rate. I reckon Bond Beach will be looking at that and be very pleased with that statistic. 50 uncontested marks, which they got guys like Coates, Gil Renouf, Verma, Gilbert, all running.
Keep forgetting about Coates and Verma. I mean, they're very good players too.
Yeah,
I mean,
Verma had 31 possessions coming off the bench.
Yeah.
They just worked their butts off to make space and spread. And, they've got Armitage working in the middle, McDonald, and they get the ball out to that second layer, who those guys then run on and, they're in space. They create space in that forward line for Trent Dennis-Lane, and how sides let him have that space is beyond me. Every coach has got to look at Bond Beach and say, we cannot give Dennis-Lane space.
So what do? You park someone about 10 metres in front,
when the
plus
ball,
have another close checking defender on him.
Yeah, you've got to roll one back, and that's what I think anyway. But I was watching when the ball's in their back line, all their forwards push up and they leave Dennis Lane back one-on-one with their opponent. And that's exactly what Bomb Beach want. What you've got to do is roll one back from where all the scrummage is. You can afford a player coming back there to pick up that defender and then have one sitting there 10, 15 metres in front of him. Don't let him have the space because he'll beat any opponent one-on-one.
You also thought that Rosebud were the flag favourites last week, so is it, if you change your mind?
Yes.
We're going to change our mind every week, though. I mean, that's a good thing about the competition.
Bombers could get there one day.
We'll get there.
I mean, Corey, you said earlier that it's such a tight comp that you're going to be on for every single game.
Yeah. I think I said earlier I miss those games where you win by 10 goals and you can relax. It's not like that anymore. So, you got to be on every week.
But the challenge is there.
Look, Rosebud were always going to struggle, I thought, because I think that Bomb Beach have a lockdown midfielder, which can go to Pat Sarnas.
But I reckon Bomb Beach have that too. That's what they did against Sorrento. They just locked them down everywhere with their pressure.
Yeah, but they don't have, like, Huswaite's gone back to Collingwood.
Yes.
You haven't got Downey. That's two massive players. And then you take out your third match winner in the midfield. That's three midfielders down from what they did round one. And the way that Rosebud play, we said at the start, if you can keep that intensity up for the whole... It's impossible to keep it up for the whole year, but you need to keep that intensity up. And if you have it, you won't lose many games. Well, they had a week off. Like, their intensity wasn't there this week. It's going to happen.
Because Bomb Beach have more talent and their intensity was up earlier.
Well, it's just, you don't throw Rosebud out and say, oh, that's terrible, you're no good now.
No,
as long as they can take their intensity every week, they're going to be okay. But a young side's going to drop down once in a while.
With the greatest respect, Rosebud are a good side.
Yeah,
but Bomb
100%.
Beach, look at the talent they've got.
But you might have a drop. It's a long year. So
that's right. Sorry, I'll just mention young Tyson Milne played for Bomb Beach.
Stephen Milne's son.
Yeah, what a player. He was great. I think he had 25 possessions. He was really dangerous. They're not going to get him every week, and that sort of added to the class that they had. But, there's a lot of good players running around.
They've got good players everywhere, Corey, haven't they?
Yeah.
Very hard to stop.
Yeah, bloody oath. We'll try our best, though.
I'd be itching to play him, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I think we got him a couple of weeks, so...
It's a real challenge.
Or up in the...
Look, I don't look that far ahead, but we'll sort him out, though, I reckon. So.
Are you one of these guys just, okay, I've got Bomb Beach this week and Red Hill the next week, worry about that?
Yeah, just worry about it. We'll find out on Thursday where we're going. So.
God, you're so laid back. You're a ripper. Now, Mount Eliza defeats Sorrento in a classic. This will be hard to beat for match of the year. We're only at round 4. It was an even first quarter before Sorrento found themselves up by 25 points. Leepa Holke was back, kicked 6, but unfortunately, boys, another update on the injuries thanks to Anytime Fitness. He blew his calf again in the last 5 minutes after kicking 6. He was the star, Leepa Holke. So they led by 25 points, but then the Redlegs were able to hold them to just 1 goal in the third and managed to take the lead. And from there, it was parry and thrust. It was a great finish. And Sorrento led late by 2 points before Sean Watson kicked the winner with just moments to go. And the Redlegs crowd was absolutely delighted. Here we go, right near the end. Is this the last goal? I think it might be. Sean Watson on the run. Long kick towards full forward. Has he taken the mark? He has. And then he managed to kick the goal. It was good running around the social club room side of the ground at Mount Eliza. This to give them the lead. Thanks to HP and CP Electrical. He didn't miss. He kicked the goal. And then I believe that the ruck coach of Sorrento...
Is that Genty's bald head out there?
Well, the ruck coach of Sorrento was there. He couldn't believe it.
No, the umpire, Genty.
In Max Gorman, who's the captain of Melbourne, who's a great mate of Luke Tapscott. And they get it out of the middle again. Kicked to half forward, and there's the siren, and they've won the game. What a game of footy that was.
How would you be being a Mount Eliza supporter the last few weeks? They've gone a 3-point win, a draw, and a 1-point loss in the last 3 games. So they're right in everything. And
they're finding a way, aren't they?
Yeah, and a good win in round 1, obviously. Yeah. So they're doing really well. They've, exceeding, I think, everyone's expectations, and they've got some serious fight in them.
You'd have to get them up by a new set of jocks every week, wouldn't you?
Oh, I reckon.
To quote Steve Brattle, their new coach this year, he said they're very coachable young men. Now, Watson was joined by Will Anthony in kicking 3 goals. Not one Mount Eliza player had 20 possessions, a very even performance. Braden Elms had the most with 18. We mentioned Leepa Holke kicking 6. His brother Miles kicked 1 with 4 clearances. And Liam Fraser found plenty of the ball as well with 11 inside 50 entries. Starting to get players back, but Angus Callahan's got that broken leg. He's still out for a fair while. Mount Eliza, at this stage, just a few guys with hamstrings, and they'll be tested over the next couple of weeks, hoping to return very, very soon, thanks to Anytime Fitness.
Sorrento, first round, Rosebud, smack. They'll be spewing on this one because they had Pines and Edithvale in between, so they
got their season sort of
they've got the next six is huge.
Well, that's what I was saying. That's what this comp's like.
If you lost Lee, who's kicked 6, and you just because Mitch and Miles, they haven't really got going as yet and tearing up numbers like your 30 odds and 40s that the boys are doing at Bomb Beach.
Mitch is going all right. He's been pretty consistent.
I understand that, but I'm saying that he's not tearing the place apart like we know that he can.
Yes, I know.
Because he is one of the best players in the comp by street.
Yeah.
But it's not firing on all cylinders at the moment.
Yeah, the loss of Paholke is going to be huge. They really, he's kicked 6, obviously.
And 5 minutes to go. I mean, have you ever done an injury, Corey, in the last couple of minutes of a game? Must be frustrating. More than doing it early in a game.
Yeah.
No, because then you don't have to run. You can still get your pay back.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, still collect the money on Thursday.
But how fickle is it?
Positive disposition.
Yeah.
But it's really fickle because, that siren rings, 30 seconds earlier. Sorrento win. They're sitting 3-1.
Yeah.
And now it's flipped the other way. Mount Eliza are in such a better position, and we're talking about Sorrento, they're 2-2 and back with the pack a little bit. But there's only 6 points separating top to 8s at the moment.
Shane Tennant was very good too.
Always
is. I mean, I know we're not quite looking at tips yet, but there are a couple of mouth-watering clashes, I reckon, in that Mount Eliza game that they play on the weekend.
We don't need your mouth watering anymore, Dan.
Shane Tennant, I'd love to see Shane Tennant on Michael Bussey. I'd love to see that happen. Yeah, I would, because Bussey on his day is the best centre-half forward in the comp, playing for Edithvale, and Shane Tennant could play centre-half back or centre-half forward. He's just a great player, been a wonderful player for the comp, Cappy, for a long, long time.
Yeah.
He's the troubleshooter for them. He can go anywhere, can't
he? Well, I've coached against him when he's played forward and back. He goes forward and he's capable of taking a big grab and kicking goals. And when he's back, he just finds the ball and gets himself in a good spot.
Have you played on him, Corey?
I don't think so, no. Up the other end.
Won't be long,
most of the time.
He goes well for a 46-year-old, doesn't he, Shane? Well done, Shane. Call out to Shane. How you going, mate?
He continues to perform well. Now, Dramana, big win over Pines in Billy Quigley's 100th. Well done, Billy.
Oh,
the big issue for the Pythons at the moment is that they've got injuries to their experienced players. Bo Hendry's got an ankle. John Hayden's got a broken leg. Aaron Ludowick, who was the grand final hero in 2018, has got a hamstring. So there's some good players that are out at the moment. What are you two idiots up to? Are you trying to see who can squeak their beer?
He stitched us up.
And Tommy stitched them up while they were having a beer.
Cut back to
you lunatics. Poor old Corey sitting there. Butterwood Mount and Chris Mouth, and he's just making sure that poor old Corey gets caught with his pants down.
He stitched us up.
Carlton 0, so it's all good.
More trouble than a one-legged man in a butt-kicking contest. Now, the Pythons were just 2 points down at quarter time before an impressive defensive performance held them to just 4 points in the second, allowing the Tigers to build a 42-point buffer at the long break, and then it just blew up. 16 goals to 6 in the second half for the Tigers. A 109-point victory. Reach Wild named best with 4 goals. Ethan Johnston kicked 4. That's 9 in 2 games. Billy and Sam Gertz absolutely outstanding again. And Billy Quigley with his 100th game. He performed really well. Top scored in the MPNFL Premier Data ranks for Dramana on the weekend. 45 disposals, 8 clearances, and a goal for 212 points.
Performed really well. Geez, you understated that, didn't you?
He performed
88%
magnificently.
And he's had 45.
88%. Yeah, well, he's performed magnificently.
Yeah, there we go. That's better.
Tremendously.
That's
You happy
better.
with that?
Oh, I'm a lot happier than that.
Any of those
I reckon
lines
that
were
is
worse.
fantastic. Billy Quigley.
For the Pythons, Guy Hendry kicked 3 goals while Ned Moody booted 2. And he's the young fellow who's going to be a very, very good player. They're very excited about him. And Ben Thomas named best for the Pines. But the injuries to their key players is the big issue for them at the moment, Cappy.
Yeah, mate. That's the a belting, and probably the belting Pines didn't want to get, obviously, but it couldn't afford. It's a great great win for Dramana. They're right on track, and after 2 close losses early, they've had 2 good wins. I worry for the Pines now because they've got Red Hill bouncing on a rebound next week. They've Paddy's got a real challenge ahead of him to try and get the young crew up, and hopefully Bo's not too far away to come in and they get his leadership back out there.
Well, I heard indefinitely. I don't know what that means.
Yeah, I've heard different.
Have you? Well, that's good.
Yeah,
they need him back because he is a terrific leader.
Yeah, I've heard he's not too far away.
I hope so.
Hopefully he can get back and help those young guys out. Jesus, I looked at the stats: 215 disposals more than the opposition.
That was ridiculous, wasn't it?
That's crazy statistic.
It's a lot
of footy, Corey, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a lot of footy.
Yeah. So 46 more inside 50s.
That's good stats work, because that's the same I had down.
Oh, very good. Thanks, mate. I'm glad I'm keeping up with you.
Well done, buddy.
You're
they've changed the way they play a bit under Matt Price. I mean, it's been as seamless a transition in a coaching change as you're ever likely to see in local footy. I mean, they were very low-key about it. He was the man that played as an experienced campaigner on the 2018 second division flag, and then sort of had a year off, and then thought it was time. Ricky thought it was time, and they've just decided Matt's the man. He's come in, and they're playing a run and gun style, a bit different to the way they played under Ricky, but it's starting to pay dividends for them, isn't it?
Yeah, good on him, and that has worked well. And like we all know what a great coach Ricky was, and Price seems to be doing a great job down there.
I watched him running around in the Super Rules on Sunday. He could still play now, 100%.
Yeah,
really.
Oh, just had it on a string, just like unbelievable. But let's not get carried away with Dramana. The good sides have got to do this to Pines and Edithvale, because at the end of the year, percentage is going to come down to it. So when you get an opportunity to have a crack, you've got to smack them right. Dramana was 0-2. They'd lost their first 2 games. They had a cracking win over Bomb Beach, which was fantastic, and then they've beaten Pines, which we expect them to do.
That could be the win that ignites their season.
We're in round 4, Dan.
I know.
We're in round 4.
But we're going to look back, aren't we? And there are always moments in any football season, any
but what I'm
elite
saying
sporting or any local sporting season.
Dan, I support you. I support you here, Dan.
What I'm saying is, don't do a Wayne Cap and just get carried away and do favourites in round 4 and say this side's going to win, because we don't. Oh, you're right.
Me.
You're right.
Yeah,
Did you get that?
I haven't got COVID. Sorry about that.
You get that. So don't get carried away. Dramana, you're doing very well. And seriously.
So do you think wins and losses in round 4 are less important?
No,
than
they're not, but you're going to beat Pines, aren't you? So, but Billy Gertz is on fire. Sam Gertz is, I rate that guy through the roof, and Billy's the same. And on your big day 100th game to get 45.
Sam Fowler's the only key player out he's playing at Collingwood, isn't he? According to Matt Price.
Yeah.
Injuries are pretty good.
I reckon Dramana are lucky they haven't lost any of the other boys to the VFL as well. That's a real big help, because if they end up going, and there's 2 or 3 others, they end up going and playing VFL, that'll leave them a bit shy.
I'm pretty sure they might be staying put for the year.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I think they will be too.
Oh, that's what I hear off the grapevine anyway.
Now our guest is Corey Buchan, the star forward from Frankston Bombers. Thanks to Growth Syndicates Australia, helping you eliminate debt, consolidate debt and pay off the mortgage in around 5 years. Now, YCW, Cappy's favourite team, they ventured to Regents Park to face an Edithvale Aspendale team who face a very long season, unfortunately, as they suffered an 11-goal defeat. But having said that, they've still got plenty of experience in that side. Brad Tagg, Sam Monaghan, the indefatigable Stephen Mannix, who had
That's a
32
good word.
I've never heard that word before.
Tireless, Cappy. Tireless, indefatigable.
Okay.
One of my favourite cricketers, Jeff Dimmick.
Oh, here we go.
Growing up in the 70s, used to open the bowling for Australia and Queensland, was indefatigable. He could bowl all day from one end, whether it be at the Gabba, whether it be at the MCG or the SCG, but he was indefatigable. That's when I first heard that word.
I think he's made it up.
A 5-goal to 1 first quarter. No, I haven't. Look it up. The Stonecats turned into a 53-point buffer after heading into half-time, with their class simply being too much. But there was improvement in the second half. Mick Meehan had his best game of the year, kicked 4. We mentioned Steve Mannix, 32 touches and 5 inside 50s. But YCW, great performance. Josh Butland kicked 7. Lockie Wallace and BJ Credlin continue to impress, and that back line, well, that does not let the wind in. The only undefeated side in it, including a draw, and they've had a very good start to the year, Captain.
Yeah,
Butland, day out.
yeah, he did play well.
Yeah,
no, he played great.
I thought he was good the previous week too. He just battled hard. He couldn't take a lot of marks,
he's a great
but he
player.
brought the ball to ground.
Yeah, really good player.
Great. He's a great player, is he?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll put him down as great.
Okay, great. I'll
Okay.
just write that in for us.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no worries.
Great.
Okay, I got down and watched the second half of that, and I was talking to a fair few EDS guys, and they're up and about of how they're going. Those guys out there didn't throw in the towel. They actually matched it in the second half with YC. The guys we've been talking about the last couple of weeks, me and Bussy, they were really firing up. They were leading their young teammates. The attitude was brilliant. How they just kept going right to the end of the game, and it's not they're not in a bad spot. It's you look at the ladder and you think, oh geez, it must be doom and gloom. But I got there and I was really surprised and rapt to see how the crowd, everyone was really enjoying the footy. They know where they're at. They've got a young group. They've got some fantastic leaders in Mannix and guys like that. Monaghan, Taggy, all that. And I think they're embracing where they are. They'll get better and better every week. And in that third quarter, though, I think they outscored YC. They're not down the dumps at all. They're going to get better and better every week.
Their big issue is that many of their injured players are the younger players, not getting a chance to develop. So thanks to Anytime Fitness, Charlie Martello's out with a knee. Tom Rourke with a hamstring, good player. Reece Orchard, good player, out with the back for a couple of weeks. Ryan Francis, Harley Dale, Bailey's brother, 2 to 3 weeks with an elbow, and he just established himself in the senior side. So they've got some injuries to those younger guys who they'd love to have in that side to probably just change the balance of the team a bit, relying too much on the older guys at the moment. Some of them, of course, have played some great footy hulks over the years.
Yeah, well, Corey's played both, and you had a day out against Edithvale, obviously, but they're not uncompetitive. Edithvale, whenever you play them, especially on their deck, are going to give you a hard contest, aren't they?
Yeah, even on that day, I think we won by a little bit in the end, but it was tight pretty much. It felt like a tight game most of the day, and they always come in hard, and they'll win a few games this year, I reckon.
Yeah. The YC boys, Jack Mazarak was really good.
Yeah.
He's having a great season. He's a veteran now. I think Jack's like 32 or 33. But he's been really consistent every week, and he's having his best year for a long time, and it's great to see.
Here we go. Strap yourself in. He's about to reel off every YC player's stats for the next 5 minutes.
Go on, Cavi.
Can I go out and get a beer?
Shut up.
No, listen up.
Oh, sorry.
Thanks to Premier Data.
What about Steele?
Steele, he's going all right.
He had
He's
a
going
superb
well.
second half against the Bombers.
I like him. I like him.
And he played well again this week, so he's
like
going to be a really good player. We discussed him. Riley Hodgson, unfortunately, did his knee. Did you have that in your injury reports?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Of course,
So,
of course he did.
Yeah, so he's looks like he's done a medial and is going to miss for 6 to 8 weeks. Riley's a really important player for YC. Multiple premiership player, very underrated by opposition, which is great. He flies under the radar, but he's big shoes to fill. Whoever comes into his spot.
Well, and Christian Ongarello, shoulder surgery on his AC joint, indefinite.
Yeah,
The defence is doing the job. Do you think we might have seen the last of him?
Oh, look, with the festival starting up again and concerts getting back in, I think Ongar's got his plate full, so he might not be concentrating on football at the moment.
It'll be a long road back for Ongar. I'd love to see him back. I hope he does. He's had a real tough last couple of years of footy, so it'd be great if he could. But
We love Ongar.
You would have played on Ongar, Corey?
Yeah, very good player.
you would have played with him, wouldn't you?
Yeah,
Have you had a
played
beer with him
down
after the
Dolphins.
game?
Couple.
Oh, he's as loose as they get.
Just a couple, just
That's it,
two?
Yeah, only.
Have you met a looser
responsible.
bloke on the grogs?
No, he goes pretty hard. So.
G'day, Ongar. Hope you're well. Now, Bailey
watching.
Schmidt rested back this week, so he'll be very important for them this week.
Yeah, well, they'll need him next week. This is a big game, and against the Quigley, Kurtz, and he's done all right too. He's had a good start to the season, so hopefully Smith's back, and because they don't have another ruckman YC, so they rely on him a lot. And he did well against the big boys at Bombers.
He did, yeah.
Held his own, but he'll be needed to be a full flight next week for sure.
Now, let's have a look at your team of the week, Cappy.
Yep.
Oh,
Here we go. That's
Serving
really
at
hard.
Peninsula
Here we
Community
go.
since 1979. Branches in Hastings, Mornington and Frankston. Plenty of change down back this week after a couple of solid standalone defensive efforts. Are you ready, Mr. Cap? Away you go. You want me to read it?
Yeah,
I'll
read it out, mate. I can't see that right. It's too small.
He's got it.
The old fella.
Yeah.
Now, Dean Wars in the back pocket from Dramana. Jackson McRae is at fullback for Rosebud. Kane Hawkins, what a good game he had. 43 possessions
yeah.
for Red Hill. The halfback line, Lockie Wallace, Stone Cats. Byron Barry, Stone Cats. Tom Kelly, no, not Stone Cats, Mount Eliza. Billy Quigley on the wing, great performance in his 100th game, along with Danny Alsov having a very good year for Red Hill. Billy Gertz outstanding in the ruck for Dramana. Sam Gertz as well. Bailey Breen and Nick Batsanis, all part of a very good midfield. Half forward line, David Armitage at Bond Beach. Corey Buchan, you're in there, Corey, with a terrific season.
He always does that when people come
I
in.
think
Oh, you've been in every week.
You've been in every week,
haven't
mate.
any
You have set like concrete in that team of the week. At centre half forward and Shannon
He's
Gladman on the
unbelievable.
half forward flank. And the forward line, Josh Butland from the Stone Cats
Great
after
player.
his 7-goal performance.
You're a great player.
Trent
Great
Dennis
player,
Lane,
Josh Butland.
outstanding player from Bombeach, 17 goals in 3 games. And Ethan Johnston, 9 in the past 2, but has a big task trying to kick a few against a very strong YCW defence, which we'll get to shortly. The interchange, Sam Gilbert, Bond
you're
Beach.
kidding.
Mitch Gent, Bond Beach.
Oh, you are kidding.
Mitch Hallahan from Sorrento and Lewis Pearce from Mount Eliza.
You
You
can't-
don't like the interchange.
You
Okay.
can't put Mitch Gent has just got the ball on a string at the moment. You can't put him on the ground.
Okay, who's coming off to put him in?
I'll tell you who's coming off right
Okay,
now.
I'll be very interested.
Well, Nick, your team lost by 20 goals, so you're out.
All right.
Bailey Breen, you didn't have 20 tackles this week, you're out. Mitch Gent's in.
Bailey Breen has been...
Oh, he has played.
And Bucks
Here's
at
mate,
centre
it's
half
not-
forward. I rate the pick, but Dan doesn't rate it because he reckons Bussey's the best centre half forward in the comp. Don't you?
Well,
Yeah,
well,
what am I?
Michael's struggling a bit for form at the moment.
He
Better
is
than
a little
Bucks.
bit.
You said he's
Form.
better than
Yeah,
Bucks.
you wanted my head there before?
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, you're right, mate.
Would you have Butland at centre half forward and Corey in a forward pocket?
No, Butland's good as the second or third forward, and
He's
he'll
a
just
great
snag
option.
7.
He's a great option.
Yeah.
Every week.
Great option.
Now, as we've been telling you tonight, we've had an injury report, and we thank all the clubs for jumping on board and providing me very quickly within 24 to 48 hours all their injuries and being very open about the fact that they've been happy to tell us about their injuries, and some clubs have got long injury lists. Some clubs have been pretty lucky so far, but it all tends to even out as the season goes on. We thank Anytime Fitness, a brand new sponsor. And as I say, this week's injury report and every week brought to you by Anytime Fitness. Anytime Fitness has gyms right throughout the peninsula and has everything you need to complete your rehab and get back on the park. Now, let's have a look, guys, at the tips for this week. Thanks
Here
to
we
Telstra
go.
Business
How did we go last week,
and
Dan?
Technology Centre of Melbourne South. Holtz, Fuzz and Plugger tipped all
5 out
5
of
last
5.
week. Dan only got 3. And Cappy had a Barry Crocker with 2. A long way off the pace.
I was just
Great
having
man.
a later to bring you blokes back into it. That was all. I was
rubbish.
too far in front.
Nothing wrong with
Rubbish.
that. Rosebud and Bombers, 3 big games. Now, in my preview in the GameFace Game Day record for this week, I was unsure which game was match of the day, so I said 3 games deserve top
No, I'll
billing.
tell you which one is.
And this is one of them, Rosebud and Bombers. I reckon this is an absolute ripper.
Not match of the day, though.
Yeah, this is a huge game. Really tough. I'm going to go Rosebud. No, the reason, and the only reason is
Here we go.
we're at
There
Olympic
we go.
Park. We're at Olympic
Doesn't
Park.
matter,
They do
mate.
play that ground well.
Yeah, they're hard to beat there. And I know.
Doesn't
You
matter.
find it a
from
tough ground
experience.
to play on, Corey?
Similar to Greg Beck, I reckon we'll be all right out there.
All right.
No, look.
Good luck.
Third
Bombers,
against 6th.
Bombers
Yeah.
will win that one pretty
Yeah, I think they
comfortably.
will.
Pretty comfortably.
Comfortably?
Too. Yeah, if you give me 30 points in, I'll take it.
No
Who,
worries. You're
who
right.
do you expect to get? McRae?
I'm
no
not too
Kennedy.
sure.
think
A couple will go to Khan, and then hopefully no one finds their way to me. I'll buy the goalpost or something. I reckon.
It's not Thursday yet. He doesn't know who he's
Yeah,
playing.
that's right.
He's got form on the Rosebud deck. The last interleague game you played, mate, you had a few snags that day.
Yeah, snuck a couple through.
Three or
Yeah,
four?
3 or 4, I think.
One
Yeah,
from the
so-
boundary.
Did you enjoy that, playing interleague footy?
Yeah, no, it was good fun. Yeah, I would have liked to be on the G the other
Oh, I
year.
would
But
have too,
yeah,
yeah.
so,
That was a great win, though, that day down there at Rosebud.
yeah, it was awesome and good to meet the other superstars around the league. It was
Yeah.
good to meet a few of those boys. So,
It's a good coaching performance too that day, I thought.
Unbelievable. Yeah, you threw me out forward, kicked a couple. It was good. You had me down back at the start.
I had him down back, and I've gone, one of the best backmen I've seen. And then he goes,
I'd actually thought we'd gone a week without him mentioning it.
He's the most laid-back bloke. How he gets himself fired up to play a game of footy, I just love to see him before a game. Or you're laid back before a game too, or do you give the impression that you are pumped up?
Nah, Muster has to wake me up most weeks.
Does he?
Yeah,
You're half asleep,
Yeah,
eh?
half asleep.
He's
but
got an
no.
intense smoulder.
Yeah, that's it.
Well, Bo hopes to get back pretty soon as well as part of our injury update. And it'd be nice to have him back in the
Yeah,
side,
it's
wouldn't it?
handy to
Yeah.
get back in there.
Well, I think that Bombers are going to be too strong. Rosebud missing some key players.
Well,
Well,
don't
that's
say
one I'll
Cappy's
get
in
back
it.
on you.
No, you won't.
We'll wait and see. Sorrento and Bomb Beach, big game down at Dave McFarlane Reserve. And would you think that the two big bulls would go head-to-head, Armitage and Hallahan, or do you think that Adrian Connolly would tag Hallahan with Jackson Casey, boys?
I don't know, but I would say that Bomb Beach will probably just stick to what they're doing. They're not doing much wrong. They've proven that what they do is better than what the opposition do most of the time, apart from that loss against Dramana. But Sorrento, I feel like they're just going. They've got a few too many out. I can't see them getting over Bomb Beach.
Well, just like last week, Bomb Beach coming off a defeat, and you see what they did after that defeat last week. And Sorrento have been the yardstick for probably the last 2 or 3 years without winning Ultimate Glory.
Yeah.
I reckon they're going to be fired up to give them a real smacking. So give me 30 points in again and I'll take it.
No worries, you're on.
Done.
No, Bomb Beach to win quite comfortably.
That's what I
for
said.
me. Yeah, I know, 30 points.
Yeah.
So you think it'll be about 30 points?
Yeah, about 30 points.
What do you think, Corey?
Yeah, I can't have it in me to tip Serena. So
And why do you think you'll beat Rosebud?
just better, and I reckon
Better.
Khan will kick 8, I reckon. So
He's threatening. He's not far away, is he, the big
not
fella?
far.
Yeah,
Did he
he's
kick
playing
2-5 last week?
2-5.
Yeah,
took
so
a
he's,
huge
you know,
mark.
He wasn't
straight-
bad on the wet the previous week
No,
either.
he was good against YC, yeah. He was good.
YCW and Dramana, big
This
game.
is match
You
of the
think
day. This is match of the day.
Yeah,
by a
well,
mile.
any of the three, you could have an argument about it, and
For
you
sure.
Well, I will
wouldn't bat an
argue about
eyelid
it.
about which is
I will
match of the
argue about
day.
it.
Any of those three.
That is match of the
Yeah,
day.
good game.
I wonder who Cappy's going to tip.
Well, I've just gone over a bit of history here with YC and
Well,
Dramana.
You've got the great Butland playing. So
Yeah,
don't worry.
I couldn't find anyone old enough to remember when Dramana last beat YC.
Oh,
But
Well, they're playing in different comps.
really, Dan? Oh, thanks for
there
that. Sandra Sully with the late news.
But look,
No, didn't they beat you down at
No, they
Dramana
didn't.
in 2019?
No.
They didn't?
no, beat him comfortably, 26
Oh,
points.
Okay, thanks,
Butland
Cappy.
kicked 4, took most
Oh,
of the
the great Josh Butler.
The great Josh Butler.
Yeah, there you go.
And he is a good player.
Yes. So, no, look, this is a tough match. This is going to be a great game of footy. I reckon you're right. It is a really, it deserves
Match of the
top
day.
billing.
It's
Yeah.
match of the day.
And, it's important for both teams. Dramana needed to get right on the right side of the ledger. YC have had 2 wins against the bottom 2 teams. I thought probably weren't at their best against Mount Eliza. A really good win against Bombers.
Yeah, it was.
So they now need to have another win against one of the top 8, and this is probably a game that could go either way. Flip of a coin.
Oh, I wonder what he's going to say.
Oh, YC.
Oh,
Surprise.
Jesus, knocked
So
me over.
if you had to flip the other
No,
side...
my reasons are that I feel like they got the wood on them, and they know how to play those guys, and that's how I'm going.
Dramana will beat YC this week. Will just smash him in the ruck. He's had a really, really good year.
It's going to be a good battle.
Yeah, and look, Sammy Gertz, don't worry about... Will's playing some good footy, but he's a jet
Yeah,
of the
he's
competition.
kinda-
Don't worry about that. Quigley with 45 and a wing. I reckon Dramana will take care of the Stone Cats.
I just think, how do you penetrate YC's defence? It's just an excellent defence, best defence.
Well,
in the comp.
they're a different forward line because they're quick and they move the ball differently than other teams. So, unlike what they've faced previously, they move the ball different. And
But I still think they adapt. They adapt and YC and they get players back.
Oh, well, that's your opinion,
No
Dan.
matter how a team moves the footy.
And opinions are like backsides. Everyone's
We've all got one. Or as Dennis Pagan said the other week, like a nose, everyone's got one.
But do they move it more differently? That's the question. They're not going to change their game plan that dramatic to what they were doing in 2019.
Well, they're running and gunning. A bit.
They were always doing that.
Didn't they win
They're
the
trying
flag?
to do a bit more of that, though.
Didn't they win the
is what I
flag?
hear.
Did they beat YC in 2019?
Well, they won the flag,
Well, they
so
didn't,
they beat
but
it.
No, but I'm telling you that that's what their game plan is, and I don't think it's changed that dramatic.
What do you think, Corey?
Sorry. Dan's giving me the winder.
I'm going to... He's had enough. I'm going to go YC. I reckon Chinny Boy, Blake Malone will have a big day.
Oh,
Yeah,
and
just tag him. Just tag him, Jemana.
No, they don't have a Sammy Pickers to do that.
Oh,
Semi Pickers can play.
He
It's
did very
YC,
good.
boy.
He did well that day.
He-
Mark Azani
Who?
Marcazani.
for Dramana.
Jemana?
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, okay. No Sam Pickers. I have to take your word for it, Dan. But
But he might play in LaFontaine anyway, so I
well.
did say that in my preview in the
We'll see.
GameFace game day.
Yeah.
He mentioned that a lot today. You must be proud of what
mentioned
you've
it
written.
twice.
Yeah. All right.
I'm comfortable. Yes.
He's taken YC.
yeah, taking YC. The
Yeah.
great Josh Butland, I've heard. So
I've taken YC as well. They'll beat Dramana. Should be a great game of footy though. Edie Aspen, Mount Eliza. Edie Aspen home. Mount Eliza going well, really well. They need a big percentage booster. They'd love a comfortable win. Still with the young side, and I think they'll get it.
Yeah, me too. I think Mount Eliza haven't done much wrong this year, so they'll win that one.
Mount Eliza.
As I said, I'd love to see Shane Tennant and Michael Bussey playing on each other.
Yeah,
Two of
might
the
get to
better
see
players
that,
in
I
the
think.
Playing on each other or with each other? Did you
Playing
say?
on each other.
On each other. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mount Eliza.
What do you think, Corey?
yeah, Mount Eliza. Yeah.
Red Hill and Pines. Pines just missing all those key players. Red Hill also with a lot of players out, but I don't think they'll absolutely thrash them, and I think the Pines will be competitive, but Red Hill at home, pretty hard to beat.
Yeah.
Pines wouldn't have played there for a long time.
Red Hill will get Morris back next week, amongst a couple of others on the big deck. They'll get their game going on the outside. They'll win that comfortably.
Did you say they wouldn't get beaten by much?
I said they'll get well
You
beaten
did.
in the end.
I'll
I think.
rewind the tape and tell you what you
I
just
will
said.
say that I think Pines will be as competitive as they can be with a young team. I mean, you've got to remember, young players, and Corey would know this, having played with a lot of young players and being a young player himself, there can be a fluctuation in form at times, but their effort is always 150%. Although Ned Moody, big raps on him already.
Yeah,
They're
he's
already
going well.
talking him up at 16. He's going to be a star.
Red Hill will win this.
Yeah, they will. Corey?
Yeah, obviously Paddy, real good coach, and get them up, but I reckon Red Hill will bounce back this week.
Well, we thank all our sponsors and our tips, thanks to Telstra Business and Technology Centre of Melbourne South and O'Brien Real Estate for being our major sponsor of the MPNFL. We'll be around the grounds this week, updating all the matches in a big weekend of footy in the MPNFL. It is round 6 already in second division, round 5 in first division. Thanks to Tom and Reece for all the hard work they've done. Cappy and
Dan.
Hulks, good to see you.
He's been good tonight, Barks.
Yeah,
hasn't he?
good on you,
We'll have
Corey.
to get him back
Oh,
in.
Great to have
Yeah,
you with
yeah.
us,
See how we go.
and good luck on the weekend. Big game for the Bombers.
Yep.
As I look to make it 3 from 5, and don't forget, of course, our game changer match or game changer round, I should say, coming up not this weekend but the following weekend, and an opportunity to get your game changer beanie for just $15.
Bargain.
And all proceeds,
Get
of
one.
course, will go to the clubs as they continue the battle to try and reduce suicide among young people in football clubs and sporting clubs in the local community. Have a great weekend, everyone, and get your game face on.
Face on.